right, so getting started, attraction marketing. Welcome to attraction marketing. This was me, guys, like a year ago, June 6th, okay? Almost a year. I was, gosh, 74 views per video. That's not that great. I started about March, so I'd kind of been spinning my wheels for a bit, right? The average dot watch time was 8 seconds, and look at this, no followers on that video. And this was me really until I discovered what attraction marketing really was, okay? So we're going to go into that tonight. So what is attraction marketing? A lot of you guys probably already know, but there is more to it than just, being yourself on camera is definitely one thing. Talking about yourself, that's awesome. That's attraction marketing for sure. Telling your story, absolutely. And that's what a lot of us learn. But it's really when people are drawn to us because of the kind of value and solutions that we provide for them. That's really what marketing is when you provide solutions to people's problems. And yes, your digital marketing program can help them solve, getting out of debt. That's definitely a solution to their problem, right? But there's more to it than that because yes, this space is very competitive and there are a lot of us, and no, it's not saturated, but how are you going to stand out from everybody else, right? So I like to go a little deeper into attraction marketing and really give you a broader perspective of what's in it and what it's about, right? So how does it work? It really is offering helpful information. It builds trust, right? And it also creates a really strong personal brand. So people want to do business with you. Okay. So we're going to go into a little bit of what sales marketing is. And a lot of us are strugglers, a lot of us are struggling selling our digital products, most likely because we think we're doing attraction marketing, but we're really doing sales marketing disguised as attraction marketing. And if you were here last week and you watched Gerald, you all know that there is a lot of hype marketing in digital marketing, especially on TikTok. And often it does break the FTC rules and it's not compliant. But here are a couple examples of the salesy kind of pitch, right? How would it feel to make 1,000 a day from your phone, right? We all know that that's kind of unrealistic. It does emotion first. It's results driven without proof or compliance, right? Here's another one. This one thing helped me make 10K a month. You can too. That kind of hook, it sounds great, but it's again kind of big earnings, kind of clickbaity. There's no context, there's no disclaimer. It could be a very, again, hype marketing, which we don't want to be doing. That's not attraction marketing. That's more sales marketing, right? Even though our programs probably say this kind of thing in a lot of our marketing, just understand you're doing sales marketing. It's not really attraction marketing. Okay. So we're going to go in a little bit further. So this is how you can tell too. So when you make content, okay, you can ask yourself, like, is my content leading with value, trust, and real connection? Okay, that would be more attraction marketing. It's more of a pull energy, pulls people in. Or is it, you can ask yourself, does my content lean on urgency, scarcity, and hype? Okay, we talked a lot about that last week, but this is really what more sales marketing looks like. It's push energy, right? You're kind of pushing people and it's exciting, but there's not a lot of value in it. So on the left, I do an attraction marketing kind of example. Listen, I stayed stuck at zero sales for months until I realized I was creating content for myself, not my audience. The moment I focused on their struggles, my posts finally started getting traction and leads started showing up. Okay, so that would be a really good kind of hook for maybe someone who hasn't even had any sales yet. Okay, because a lot of times we think we have to, be of authority right away, and you don't have to. And having leads and followers are still success. That's something that you can pull your audience in with, right? It's relatable, it's honest, it's focused on the audience, it's realistic, actionable insight, and definitely FTC compliant, right? So here on the right, this is again examples of what not to do because it's very salesy. Want to have money for retirement? This system pays 5K a month on autopilot. Yes, it sounds really good, but again, it's hype. Okay, there's no disclaimer there. It implies income without context. This is all part of what Gerald taught last week. Okay, so if you haven't watched that, go watch that. More sales marketing hype would be like, no experience, no problem. Anyone can make six figures with this today. Again, guaranteed income that pays. Always a red flag, guys. Okay, you don't want to be making content like that because it definitely doesn't set you up for that trust and longevity. It's very, again, hype marketing. You might get sales quickly, but it's not going to last. It's not sustainable. Okay. So here's another one: passive income while you sleep. Just copy and paste this, right? Again, claiming that it's really effortless, autopilot, copy and paste. It can be very misleading. So we really want to understand the difference between attraction marketing and sales marketing. And we're going to get into, well, how do you do attraction marketing as a digital product seller? Okay, because people don't really understand that. They're like, well, I'm just learning from my six-figure earners and like kind of what they do, and they do really well, so I'm just going to emulate what they do. Sometimes they're okay, but a lot of times they are doing, again, hype marketing, they're posting income, and it's not necessarily going to work for you yet because you don't have that traction yet. You don't have a lot of followers and you haven't built up the trust. Okay. So this is how you do attraction marketing as a digital product seller. And next week, Brian's going to go into a lot more, but I'm going to just cover the basics. Okay. So number one, you can do helpful content. What does that look like? You give value first before you pitch anything, right? So you give some kind of tip or trick or teaching, something that you might have learned easily, even if you're a beginner, that's fine, right? So I always did TikTok tips. And I've talked about this before. They work really, really well because it helps everybody. You're still in the niche, you're still in the digital marketing niche, and everybody on TikTok needs to understand how to work TikTok, right? So those work really, really well. You can do free tools or guides, PDFs. You can make these in like ChatGPT. You can make an ebook, right? If you're a little more advanced, you can even record a little masterclass, something that's going to help your target market. And that masterclass can be attached to your beacons or your stand store. And if you have legacy, you could even have a link to somewhere like a YouTube, right? And maybe if you want it private, you unlist it. But that way you can at least get your audience to start, getting value from you, and not just the program, because the program is going to be maybe overwhelming for them and you really do want to help them. And this is again how you stand out from everybody else doing attraction marketing. I always make a free tool. I do. That's what I make content around. I often say, listen, I've got a free little ebook on, how to find your perfect target market, or something that I've learned so far. Really simple, really easy. People love that, okay? Because it makes people realize, like, oh, she actually cares. And you know what? She's willing to do something a little extra more than everybody else. Yeah, it's a little bit inconvenient. You're going to have to do a little more work, but it's like, how bad do you want it, right? Because otherwise you are kind of just blending in. So I said, make content around what you can give away for free. And a lot of those videos will end with, listen, I've got this free tool, or I've got this free guide, comment, whatever, and then I'll send it to you. And people love that. And you get an email in exchange. So you're building your email list and they get something in return. Really, really good. You could give away ChatGPT prompts, right? Prompts to help people make scripts for their videos or whatever it is you can niche in your niche. Really, really good. The example of the busy mom, I think I've said this before. If you are a busy mom and you target busy moms, it's really helpful to think about, what do busy moms need? Busy moms need help with making dinner, or they need help with their schedule. Like maybe you have a little day planner that you can give to them, and it's not every video, but once a week you offer something for your target market, right? Easy recipes, right? And people are like, but Amy, that's not digital marketing. Yes, it is, because you could make that into a digital product, right? And that's going to be ways for you to stand out from everybody else, because, Susie down the street's going to be like, oh my gosh, Denise, thank you so much. I really love the little, 20-minute recipe guide that you gave to me. And my son loved it. We got to PTA and soccer on time. It was really useful. So now, who did I say was going to buy it? I just forgot the name I made up. But anyway, they're like, you know what? I really appreciate Denise because she gave me those quick recipes. I love that. So now when Denise is like in her content or in her live, by the way, I've been making money online also by doing this, this, and this. And people appreciate that. They remember you more. Okay. The other way as a digital product seller is you offer Zoom calls, one-on-one Zoom calls. Zooms are free. I've said this before, that, how else are you going to stand out? Tell your audience that you're willing to help them get to their first sale, or that you're willing to help them show them the back office, anything that's going to help you stand out, right? So sharing useful and interesting content that solves problems and meets the needs of your audience. And it doesn't always have to be about the program. So that's why I'm like, Think a little bit further outside the box, but we're going to get into more of that. Okay. How to do attraction marketing as a digital product seller. We're going to cover 6 things here still. So we're still working on this. Number 2, personal branding. Remember, people buy you. They don't buy the brand, or you're the brand. They don't buy the product. They're buying into you. So really stop selling and start demonstrating your core values. We covered this in week 1, where our friend Travis came in and talked all about our core values. Really, really excellent foundational strategy right there. When you understand that you are marketing your core values first, people are going to resonate with that, and that's who they're going to want to buy from. Okay. I love that lesson. If you haven't watched that, go back and do that. Okay. This show your face, the camera, face to face versus just like a logo. People want to recognize you. It's all about the connection, right? So how do you build personal brand? Lifestyle videos, right? We've talked about this, the 4 F's: family, fitness, faith, friends, all of these things that make up your lifestyle, B-roll, everything like that's going to help you build your personal brand. The entertainment videos, those do really well. The lip talking, the singing, the dancing, if you can do those, great. Again, also part of your personal brand. The AI avatars I'm seeing now, they're fine, but I really want to see you guys add more real you, just so that people know that you're a real person. So if you mix your content up with AI, that's fine. Just sometimes make sure it's you, okay, that you are face forward, unless you're faceless, okay? Faceless is fine, but faceless does take a lot longer to build trust. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I haven't seen a lot of faceless right away. I think they have new programs out right now that is a faceless one, which maybe you all want to look into if you're into that. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll get back to you. The nurturing videos, again, those are the B-roll ones that are not necessarily always converting, but just showing your lifestyle, all part of branding, right? And then we've talked about in SEO, always add your branded hashtag. So my branded hashtag is my handle, Uplift with Amy. You're going to add yours. So hashtag whatever your handle is on TikTok, not your nickname. Okay. Always add that to your hashtag group, because that's how TikTok recognizes you, and you're going to start getting pushed out. If someone were to talk, just type in your name, they're going to be able to find you a lot easier. Okay. You could get merch made. I've seen a lot of people do this. They get their, whatever their, daily pay. I know it's the most common name, but I've seen, is it the 6-figure welder? I've seen him make t-shirts. You can get your logo or your company name on a t-shirt or a hat or a hoodie, or, in a mug when you're doing your lives. That's going to help build your personal brand. Okay. You don't have to have it. These are just ideas. And of course, colors and fonts, that definitely makes a difference. But for TikTok, I mean, we really just want a overall brand. And we'll get into that kind of stuff later, but this is really what you want. So creating a strong and genuine personal brand that shows your skills, your values, your personality, that's going to build the trust and personal connection with your audience. Okay. Okay, we're going to keep moving on. Number 3 of how to do attraction marketing as a digital product seller is building relationships. Okay, so we want to keep focusing on connecting with our audience. So anytime you get a message or a comment on your video, make sure you're commenting back as best you can. Comment in more than 2 words, comment with more than emoji. You want to encourage engagement. You want to encourage conversation, ask questions, have them respond again. That's part of interaction. That's building the community that we want. Okay. You can direct message them. I don't always say do that unless they've messaged under your video first, because otherwise it can be kind of salesy. But if someone's left you a message, I always say, like, comment something, and then they comment, and then I get back to them and I say, I thank you. I might give the tip there, but then I'm going to say, I'm going to DM you as well. Because when you DM them, it makes it way more personal. It shows that you're interested in them. And it just, again, opens the door for conversation. And that's what you want, right? Again, creates a sense of community. The other thing you can do is create a poll, create a content poll. This also builds engagement. If you don't know how to do that, you go to the stickers icon in your TikTok, and there's a little sticker that says poll. And when you push on that, it's going to let you make a poll. Okay. Like, what's your favorite thing about digital marketing? And then you put it in, and then people will comment. It's a way to build engagement and build relationships. Okay. Number four, be of authority, be the leader. And yes, I know if you're a beginner, it's a little bit different. I understand that. That's why I say when you're just beginning, all you really need to be doing is like follow for more, share your journey, right? But if you've learned anything so far in your program, share what you're learning. You don't have to give away the farm, but share some of your successes, share some of your failures. People love that, right? We're looking for transformation. Again, leads and followers, sales, those are all successes. Yeah, you can share your success. That's fine. Use testimonials, case studies, and highlight your achievements. And I say this, don't share the community wins, the income claims. Okay. I know that's a big thing. A lot of people love doing that. But as we learned last week, I really feel more comfortable if you just share your income and have an income disclaimer. Okay. If you are going to share the income from people in your community, I really think you'd reach out first, reach out to those people and say, can I share your win? Is it backed by evidence? That kind of thing. And we all know that a lot of the FTC compliance is about sharing the average of what people make. And I know that's not the most fun for marketing. However, I would be careful with your income claims. I really wouldn't be sharing community wins unless you have the permission to share it. Okay. So again, share what you're learning in the course, share facts about e-learning, share facts about the e-learning industry, the digital marketing industry, that it's not just about reselling courses. These are the kinds of things people are going to want to know, right? Share what you know about being on TikTok, right? Also very important, those TikTok tips. Talk about the benefits of the program, like when because people are in this like kind of want to look around stage, right? How do you get them to buy the program that you have? Show them like, okay, this is what you want to look for when you're purchasing a digital marketing program. Like, does it have a community? Does it have live trainings? How does your program stand out from everybody else's? That's again, being of authority, showing that you're a leader in this space. Okay. And number five, consistent presence. This is all about how to do digital marketing as a digital product seller. Consistency is key, guys. Okay. So one viral post is not going to save you. Okay. Viral posts are awesome sometimes, yes, but a lot of times they're not because it can bring in people that aren't even your target market and they're not necessarily going to buy from you. I would rather you go like a lower, I mean, it's taken me a year just to get to 7,392. And some people are like, that's not that good. I don't mind because this is my target market. I would rather have people buy from me and know who I am and appreciate and comment. And, it's a community, right? So posting at least once a day, if you can, if you can't post 3 times a day. I know a lot of you are in programs that are like, post 3 times a day. If you can't do that, at least post once a day. One good, valuable piece of content is going to be better than not posting or posting 3 that are just kind of mediocre and they're not really gaining traction. They don't have views. You're not getting engagement. That's not helping your presence. Okay. So I'd rather see you change the algorithm towards you in the sense that, okay, I'm going to actually make something that's worthy, have proper SEO, have a good hook, have my keywords, all of the things that we talked about in the SEO training. I'd rather you work on one really good video and then have that a day if you can't post more. Because I always think the beginners, yes, beginners should be posting 2 to 3 times a day. Why? Because you need to build that traction. Okay. Once you've got a bit of traction, like I do now, I mean, it's been a year, I do post like once a day and I might even miss a day, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But in the beginning, yeah, I think posting more than once is probably critical for you to gain that traction. Schedule your lives. Okay. Right. Oops. Excuse me. I show you guys here. In fact, it is one of my TikTok tips in the community. You guys can go find it. But scheduling your lives shows your audience when you're going to be live. And if you can do that on a consistent basis, that's really going to help you. Okay. Because part of a digital marketing is being consistent, building that community, showing up for everybody. So being active online regularly, posting, engaging, making sure that you're watching other people's videos, engaging on their videos, watching all the way through. I don't think it really matters, the top to bottom or bottom to top. I wouldn't say that matters, but it does matter that you watch it all the way through, that you do comment, right? If you want to repost it, great. But the whole bottom up thing, that doesn't matter. Just make sure you're watching it all the way through. And if you comment, then comment. Okay. Because watching it all the way through, we know that completion rate is what helps that video and also yours, right? So the more you engage on TikTok, it shows TikTok that you're part of the community and that's what they like. That helps you and the viewer, okay? Or your audience. So this keeps you in your audience mind and strengthens your brand. Post to stories, okay? You guys have beautiful stories. Like you can use old video content and then if it's short enough, just go. I think I showed you guys, but under the menu, it says add to story and just add older videos to story. People that digital or TikTok loves that, right? Use your thought bubbles, okay? I just honestly, I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, give me 30 kind of short form leadership quotes, right? And that way, every day when it disappears, I can just go into my notes that I've saved from ChatGPT. I don't copy straight from ChatGPT, never do that, because that can be considered unoriginal and bot-like. But I save it in my notes. I have a little quote that I post into the thought bubble, a leadership quote, okay? Because that's about what I am. I'm about leadership and helping others, right? TikTok likes it when you use their functionality. There's a new feature now, besides the thought bubbles, it's called the new AI Alive feature. If you guys can go play with that, you just really push on the plus sign like you're going to add a story on your face, and then you pick a still frame photo that you want to bring to life. Okay, I haven't made a TikTok about it, but you know, anytime TikTok has something new, they want you to use it, try it out. It's actually pretty cool. So the still frame picture that's in your phone, whatever you want to do, you can, you know, like maybe you're standing there, you can make yourself like jump up and float around. It's pretty funny, but it's pretty cool feature. So do that, okay? Consistent presence, very important. Okay, 6, storytelling. This is probably one of the biggest ones. Yes, we know that, you know, storytelling is very important in attraction marketing. And, you know, some people like to tell longer stories, some people like to tell, you know, shorter stories. I definitely think if you're new, you want to keep your story pretty short because we all know that completion rate is big in the algorithm. So if you have a shorter story, more people are more likely to listen all the way through and be able to watch your video all the way through. Okay, and that's going to help you. So it is your magnet. Okay, so sharing your journey, your challenges, and your successes, like I said, it makes you relatable. So when you mess up, people like that. You don't have to be perfect. If you flub your words, that's fine. People like that. It makes you real, right? Beginner's advantage. I've talked about this before, and you know, Brian Brewer next week is definitely probably going to be talking about it. When you're the beginner, you have that advantage because you are fresh, and the people who are starting, I call them the beginner, really relate to the beginner because they're like, oh, okay, she's just like me, and you still have that mind frame or mindset of the beginner. Someone after a year like me, I almost forget sometimes what it was like. You know, I might not speak the same way, and I end up using lingo that's like a little more advanced. So understanding that, you know, just starting out is actually, you know, being a little green is actually helpful because you're just more relatable. Okay. Before and after transformation videos, I love those. We all know those work really well. So definitely have footage of where you are now, working at your desk job, the job that you don't like. If you have footage of, you know, where you were a year ago and you're showing where you're going, always great. If you can go back and find stuff in your phone, really, really great because people want to see that. Okay. Use stories to connect emotionally with your audience. And we said, how do you do that? Well, you do it by demonstrating your core values. What's happening in your life, right? These things, we're a little more vulnerable, right? We can have boundaries. We don't have to share everything, but sharing your vulnerability is what helps connect with your audience. That's what people want, is that emotional connection, right? Family, faith, all those things are going to help you. Inspiring others. You are an influencer, so really good content is going to be mindset kind of content. People love to hear that. They need it. Fitness kind of videos. People love to be inspired by physical challenge. You know, it like, oh, look at her. That's awesome. You know, like it really is inspiring for us. This is what I'm saying. Tell your why, right? We learn that a lot in a lot of our programs. Tell your why. Why did you get into digital marketing? But be able to tell it in a short way, like 30 seconds or less. Okay. We're going to get into a little bit why. Then I would find like 3 to 4 ways that you can tell that same story, but in a little different way, right? So that so you're not just repetitive every time, right? The different ways to say the same story, or maybe a little bit different story, but why you got into digital marketing. Use descriptive words like sensory words like listen, think about it. I could see my success. So those listen, think, see, right? Those are descriptive words that are going to help plant the picture in your audience's mind. So that really works with good storytelling. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about, this telling your story quickly. It's like we have to kind of think of how do we identify ourselves, right? Maybe you're the stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're the healthcare worker, you're the girl dad, you're the burnout corporate worker, right? This is what we do in our videos. We call out who we are, what we relate to, and that's going to be also our perfect target market, right? So one of the things I used to say was like burnt out broke mom, or broke mom of three, or burnt mom of three. Burnt, what did I say? I think I said broke burnt out mom of three. That's what I said. And it just really, hit those pain points. It hit what I was experiencing, and I was a mom of three. So I really kind of niched it down there. And that's what attracted my target market as well, until I started really, helping everybody. But in the beginning, niching down like that is fine. Okay. This guy here, Donald Miller, if you haven't gotten his book, I really suggest it. It's called Building a Story Brand. I do think he has a second one out right now, which is I don't to Building a Story Brand 2, I think. But get the first one if you want. And he really helps you tell your story in a way that creates your brand. I love what he does. I know the roadmap really appreciates him. So Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand. Excellent book to get. Okay, so let's just recap a little bit. The principles of attraction marketing: being real. Okay, you got to be real, you got to be honest, and being relatable. That's really important in attraction marketing because it builds that trust and loyalty really, really well with your audience. You know, just being relatable. That's what I like, like sharing going to pick up your kids at soccer practice. You're sitting in the car and you're telling us a little story, those kind of things. You're at home, you've got your tripod and you're showing yourself making dinner, or we said the ladies getting ready in the mirror. People love that. Get ready with me videos. Guys, I've talked to you before. If you're like a guy who likes to work on his truck or go fishing, take your content to the lake, take your content to the garage, show us what we're doing. It's very relatable. Okay. And you're helping solve problems. So try to focus, and it's not always easy, but I'm going to give you some more examples. But focus on solving your audience's problems and meeting their needs instead of just selling your product or service. Okay. And we're going to get into examples. Educating, again, you're sharing useful information that teaches your audience. It makes you a helpful resource. That's when I started seeing sales. Like I said, I was like 75 views, no followers, and like no comments, and people fall off like at 5 or 6 seconds. Once I started doing TikTok tips, once I started making my content around my audience and what my audience needs, and things like, how I could help them in little things. It's then when I said, by the way, I've been making money online with this program. And that's when people started to buy from me because I helped them in the past and they remembered it. They're like, oh, yeah, you're that girl that gave me that TikTok tip, or, you helped me figure out the hashtags. And this is all stuff that I learned in my program. So I would just share what I learned. And that's what people love. And I know Brian talks about that a lot too. Okay. And again, interacting with your audience, comments, always very important. This is building trust really, really well. Um, Aim to provide genuine value at least 50% of your content. I say that because, not every content piece has to be value driven. I mean, that's kind of hard to do. So I would say, a range, right? We've talked about building a brand. Some of your content's going to be more entertaining. That's fine. You're going to have a meme, and then you're going to have some that are talking where you're adding more value. If you can do one or two pretty good valuable content pieces a week, that's going to be helpful. Again, it's going to help you stand out from everybody else. It's just like, hey, you want to quit your 9 to 5? You got to learn how to do proper attraction marketing. Okay. That kind of stuff is sales marketing. All right. And the last one I like to say is authenticity. I know it's kind of like being real for sure, but something I've been learning about is I just did this 30-day program, and it's in the Mindset Vault. It's the Authentic Living course. And one of our community members was asking me about it. And what I really learned there, and this is again a vibrational thing, energy, vibration, and frequency, it's all there is in the universe. But anyway, authenticity is actually higher on the vibrational scale, if you want to think of it like that, than like joy and passion and love. I didn't even know that, but it is. So having that authentic self and who we really are and showing up as who we really are, it really plays a role in how successful we are. Because I think a lot of times we come into this space, and I see this all the time. People reach out to me and they're like, Amy, I haven't made a sale. And then I go back through their content and they're saying things like, oh, I'm so glad I got into digital marketing. It's really changed my life. And I'm like, it hasn't, right? And I know that you're trying to portray, that it's working for you, and I get it because, you want people to buy. I understand that. However, if it's not true to who you really are and what's working, I wouldn't say that, right? Because then it's inauthentic. And that's where we have to be a lot more crafty in our message and really stand true in who we really are. So there's a way to be promotive and, marketing yourself without having to show that, yeah, everything's great now. Just be like, I'm learning and it's exciting, and I can't wait for that day when maybe I don't have to work this job. Like, keep it fresh, keep it real, but keep it authentic, who you really are. So if it feels cringy or doesn't really align with your core values, I wouldn't say it. Okay. So authenticity, it's really key. That's what's going to help you set yourself up for success. It really will. The hype marketing, yes, it makes sales quickly. We get that. However, it's not sustainable, and it doesn't build trust well at all. Okay. Attraction marketing benefits at more loyalty, right? We talked about hype marketing ends. This is going to be providing value. It's building relationship. It creates a loyal customer base. It's way more likely that people are going to do business with you again in the future when you come from a place of integrity and value. Okay. Better conversion rates. Again, it may not be right away. It's more of a slow roll, but over time, you're going to have more consistent customers and more sales over time. So long-term success, that's really what you want to think of. It's not short-term success. Okay. And it's way cost effective because it's organic. It's cheaper than traditional marketing. It's all word of mouth. It's TikTok. Okay. You don't have to pay for ads. Okay. So, as we kind of wrap up, I just want to talk a little bit about strategies for being unique. This would be kind of like value proposition. Like, what can you offer your audience as a digital product seller? Something you can do is really niche down, right? So, when we talk about your target market and then we niche even further, like, what's even a smaller focus group in that niche, right? So, TikTok loves that, honestly. Right now in 2025, they really want you to niche down further. And I wouldn't say in every video, but like what I said before, 20 to 30% of your content can be really niche down, targeted down, and then you can have a little more broader for the other 70% or whatever. But this would be an example. Instead of just retirees, it'd be like retired teachers or retired healthcare workers or retired military women, like really getting it further down. This is going to tailor your content or tailor your content to their unique needs. Like, especially if that's your niche and you resonate with that, you're going to be able to help them more, right? They're going to resonate with you more because they're like, oh my God, she's just like me, right? Telling your unique stories, sharing personal stories and experiences that are unique to you, highlight specific moments and emotions that others in your niche haven't shared, right? That's always going to be good. Again, telling your unique story, especially if it's niche down. Making interactive content. So create interactive content, like we said, create a poll, do quizzes, we do lives on TikTok, right? Those are good. This is live webinars, but you could do that too if you wanted to on Zoom, right? This engages your audience and builds a sense of community. That's what we want. Okay. We're going to go in a little further. So again, strategies for being unique. Collaborate with others. Okay. A lot of you guys, if you have the ability to go live, do a live together with a friend. Okay. This is going to help you be more relatable. You can have like an interview, you can have a co-host is what they call it on lives. That helps too, right? Helps build your credibility. Oops, excuse me. I went too far. Encourage user content. Ask your audience to share their stories and experiences with the program, right? If it's truthful and they share it, that's going to help. That's really good. Share behind the scenes, always really good. This is, again, B-roll kind of stuff. I love it when you can like actually record yourself or have someone else recording you with your phone looking like you're making a video because that's what digital marketing looks like is you talking to your phone. Show that kind of thing. Have your husband or your friend or your wife take some video of you actually doing digital marketing on the computer, doing a Zoom call. Show your audience what you're capable and that you are willing to help them. Okay. That's part of highlighting your unique value. Explaining why your program is different. Emphasize the unique features. Like we said, this is going to help you really stand out from your competitors, right? And then special bonus offers. Again, like I said, one-on-one Zooms, guys. That's a really good one. Like if you make content and you tell the audience at the end of your video, hey, I'm willing to do a one-on-one with you guys. Just let me know in the comments. We'll set up a time. And yes, I know that's not as convenient, but that's going to help you set apart from everybody else, right? Everyone else is like, just put your email in and let the automations work for yourself. Be more proactive. This shows your audience that you care. Again, part of attraction marketing. Okay. This is another thing that's a kind of fun. Strategies for being unique. The last one is create a signature style. Okay. So if you can bring in something, like we always talk about a visual hook or something that's consistent, like I said, maybe you have merch and you always wear your hoodie or your t-shirt that you had made with your logo on it. But that's going to help you stay recognizable. Okay. The thing I always did was I'm Uplift with Amy. So I had this unique little catchphrase. I still use it. I don't use it in every video, but it would be like, hey, listen, it's never too late to uplift your life, or it's never too late to uplift your TikTok, or I would always put in uplift, okay? Because now I've made a name for myself, right? People will actually type it in and they find me. But that's my little signature catchphrase. Maybe you can think of something like that. Again, it's all part of branding, but it's again your signature style. That's going to help too. Okay, so by using these strategies, you really can make attraction marketing efforts stand out. And you're going to stand out a lot better than everybody else who's doing those sales marketing tactics. Okay. So you're creating a unique and engaging presence and you're capturing the attention of your target market because you're going to be helping them in some way or another. And we're going to get into a little bit of examples and then we'll be done. But like you can see, I added my, later, this was from March 28th, just like last month. Okay, how much I've improved in a year. I don't think it takes a year, but give yourself 2 to 3 months, 3 months of learning these strategies, everything that I teach in the Rise and Thrive community, especially SEO, proper attraction marketing, proper hooks. I mean, all of this is strategy, guys. Okay. So if you haven't watched the last, 4 or 5 replays on the Wednesday nights, I strongly suggest because you will start to see your video views go up, your watch time go up, you're going to get followers. That's all going to start building because I've taken time to learn these strategies. And now a lot of my videos do well because I'm offering value and I help people. Okay. And like I said, not every video is going to be value based, but the more you do that, and you're not just the salesperson and you're not just the girl who sells, oh, that's just her, she sells that one program, or the guy who sells that one program. Start offering more value for your audience so that you stand out and they see you as a resource. So like, oh, Rick will know, right? Or Ron will know, he's been in it for a while, he can help me. Like, this is what we want. We want people to see you as that. Okay. So strategies for being unique. This is also, again, a little bit more of further on like how to call out your target market. And I've talked about this before, but when we're telling our story, right, rather than being long and drawn out, you know, this is something I would say. Like, listen, I'm Amy. I help everyday stay-at-home moms just like you start an online business. I always put that in there, like who I am, what I do, and just like you, meaning my audience, right? So here's another one. Stressed out, middle-aged mom of two, learned how to create with time with their kids. Hey, I'm Lisa, and I help everyday moms and dads just like you learn how to make money online so you can have more money to go on that vacation with your kids. Okay, you're not putting any kind of income in there. You're not, making promises, but you're just explaining who you are, how you help them, right? What are you talking about? Who are you talking to? And how do you help them? Those are the three kind of criteria we went into in the hooks, right? But this is again calling out your target market. It's part of attraction marketing. If you don't know me, these are just examples. If you don't know me, I'm Sarah. As a retired healthcare worker, I now teach other nurses just like you learn how to start their own online business so you can possibly quit that 12-hour shift work. Okay. Why is that good? Well, I'm calling out my target market, right? I'm not guaranteeing, I'm saying you possibly could quit that 12-hour work week. But and you're telling them that you help the or 12-hour shift work. You're telling them that you can help them start an online business. Totally FTC compliant, totally calling out the target market, very attraction marketing like, very good. And then your CTA, right? We always want that CTA. I'm ready if you want my free PDF on, what helped me get started, or maybe you say like, how to find your perfect target audience, whatever that is, that little free tool that you want to give. Again, example, you don't have to, but those are really good ways to be of an attraction marketing digital product seller. And something that your audience is needing is they're starting a business too. So what is it that your audience could find helpful rather than just going through the video trainings in the program? Because that can get really long and boring. And sometimes it's easier if you're just like, here, I got something quick for you. They appreciate that, right? We're almost done, guys. I just want to go over a little bit of, when you have a business and you think of it like, well, how do I market myself on TikTok, right? And this is similar in the sense if you're a digital product seller, but I want you to start thinking a little bit outside the box of like, what can you offer that might help your audience, right? So I always say like, Costco, they give out samples. That's what you do in digital marketing. You give a little sample of what you can do or what you offer, right? That's going to help attract your audience. But these are examples. So like if you're a fitness coach, right? You could do TikTok tips or sorry, tips on how to do a common workout, like things that you might do by mistake. You're going to help people. That's always going to be helpful, right? And then eventually they're going to be like, oh, remember that guy? He was good. And they're going to hire you, right? Maybe you're a baker or you have a cake business. You offer simple tips like you do videos on how to frost a cake. I mean, these are little things that people find valuable. And you can still be a digital marketer. Like maybe you have a passion or you have a job on the side and you're like, listen, I make cakes. I can give you the recipe, just comment and I'll give it to you. Make a little digital product around the cake ice or like the ingredients of the cake, whatever it is. This is how you're going to stand out, right? And you can be like, by the way, I've been making money online. Lead them to something else or let them follow you where you're going. That's fine. Real estate agents, you can share tips on staging your home. These are things that are going to help your audience go, oh, you know what? I like that. She stood out to me, right? If you're a hairstylist, you can teach people how to maintain their hair between appointments. A lot of these people are going to appreciate that. They're like, oh, thank you. You saved me money. Just like with the photography business, maybe you share tips on how to make good photos online, right? Or you help people again, TikTok, how to make a good video. These are going to again help your audience see you as a resource or somebody, a leader in their field, right? And so when they're ready to buy from you, maybe the product or the program that you have, you're going to stand out to them because you've been doing other things besides just selling a product, okay? I know you're not going to mess up your algorithm, okay? And I'll get into that in a minute. For my Etsy shop, I show people how to care for their costume jewelry. I do that on my other TikTok page, and they love that, right? If you have a plumbing service, sharing like a do-it-yourself kind of simple low-cost fix, people love that. And this is what you make videos about because it's going to help people save money. And who do you think they're going to buy from when that big job needs to get done? Probably you, right? Because you've been showing people online how to fix things or whatever. Again, these are just examples of helping you think outside the box a little bit. So what is it that you do? What is it that your passions? What are things that really help you stand out from everybody else? So I've said this before, but my friend Paulette, she's a gardener. She does all sorts of stuff on TikTok now with her gardening, and she's amazing. And she does really well selling her digital products because she often has people in her garden with her on her live, and she shows people what she's growing and, fertilizer. I mean, she has a whole community now around gardening, but she also throws in like, hey, if you guys want to start making money online, I've got these products, right? And so she's got this huge audience that she can sell to. And so she's set up her own little kind of business. Again, totally separate from just like, hey, you guys want to make money online? Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you're going to stand out, right? And no, you're not going to mess up your algorithm as long as you keep your SEO on point, right? So if you are in your garden, maybe you're talking about gardening, but everything that's mostly coming out of your mouth, like the heavier worded, meaning more catchphrasy, you're not the things that you say more of, like the how to make money online, you know, you're a gardener, that's fine. But you want to make sure that those keywords and that the hashtags, even though you're in your garden and maybe you mention it, those are more heavily weighted. So the algorithm's still going to pick up more on, you know, you're selling a digital product or you're getting people into wanting to be interested in making money online. So just understand that you're not going to mess it up if you're like, but Amy, if I talk about baking cakes, it's going to mess up my algorithm. It's not, okay? 80% of your content is still going to be digital marketing, but I'm just trying to give you guys ideas to help you stand out. And that's what attraction marketing is. You want to be building a community, you want to be attracting your audience that are just like you. So people who are just like you are your target market. What do you like to do? Where do you like to go? What are your passions? Your faith, again, your family. How many people in your family? Are you single? Right? All that stuff is what you can be adding to your content so that we're not just so salesy all the time. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. So I know Denise, honey, thank you so much for attending. And those of you who are watching on the replay, if you have questions, definitely drop it in the comments. Again, this is going to be up soon for you all to watch. But Denise,